Hi everyone, this is Samantha Daniels with Love Samantha Daniels Style. For the next 26 minutes, we are going to talk about love, dating, romance, relationships, and sex. Most of you know me, but I notice a few new people in the room. Just to tell you quickly, I am a professional matchmaker and relationship expert. And I spend each and every day helping people get into relationships and helping people save their relationships, work on their relationships, and figure out how to get into a relationship. So this is your opportunity to talk to a real matchmaker, to ask questions that you might have, make comments, and free therapy for the next 25 minutes. So you don't have to go spend a couple $100 to go to a therapist. You can just ask the question right here. So the topic that we're going to talk about today is cheating. Recently, I was asked to help a client and a friend of mine with a little problem that she's going through. Basically, she's been dating a guy for the past 7 years, and she really wants to marry him. She wants to marry him, and she wants to have children with him. And he keeps putting it off, coming up with excuses as to why he doesn't want to take the next step. Well, guess what? 7 years, that's a long time to be with someone. She's 38 years old, and she's ready. She gave him her 30s, 7 years, from 31 to 38, figuring that along the way they would actually get married. And like Mermaid said, 7 years, no ring, see ya. So that's sort of where she is right now, saying, I'm ready. I've had it. I'm ready. It's time. Either we're going to get married, or we're going to get pregnant, or I'm going to move on. So they're going through that right now. He's a divorced guy, and he has a child. And so he's a little gun-shy about taking that final step because he didn't have a great relationship initially. But she's very different from his ex, and it's been 7 years, which, you know, in the U.S., a common law marriage is actually 10 years. So 7 years is a long time. So at this point she feels, well, you know me, you know what we're all about, you know what our relationship is like. So if you don't want to be with me now, when are you ever going to want to be with me? So they've been going through this whole circumstance, and finally this week they went to see a therapist, his therapist, to talk it through, to figure out what the next step was going to be, and they're moving in that direction. And then 2 nights ago, she was out at a party, and she ran into one of their mutual friends, and the mutual friend said, oh, how are the two of you doing? Are you still together? And my friend said, well, no, we're taking a break. We're trying to figure it out. I'm interested in getting married, and if he doesn't step up and want to marry me, that's it. And the mutual friend said, oh, well, is he still seeing that other girl that he was seeing last spring? Are they still together? And, of course, my friend looked at this other person and said, what other girl? Because in my friend's mind, they've been in a 7-year monogamous relationship for the past 7 years. And last spring, March, April, May, she believed that she was in a fully committed relationship with her boyfriend, and she had no idea that he was seeing another girl or spending time with another girl, nothing. So all of a sudden now there's a new wrinkle to their problem. He doesn't want to marry her, or maybe he doesn't want to marry her. He's not sure if he wants to have a child with her, and now she's wondering if he actually cheated on her back in the spring. So we spent a lot of time talking about it, and Mermaid says she needs to move on, but King Artemis says if he gets married, he's going to need to be committed. Now, my question is can this guy commit? Can men at all commit? And what do we think she should do? So I see Amaris's hand up, so why don't you go ahead and make a comment. Go ahead, pick up the microphone. There you go.
Yes. I was actually going to make a slightly unrelated comment since we are on the internet. since we are on the internet, I just wanted to talk very briefly about how the internet and the easy connections with relationships on the internet are actually affecting relationships at home. And people are finding an outlet to engage with someone and get emotionally attached to them while in a relationship. And this causes a lot of pressures on these different relationships. I just wondered if you had any comments about the impacts of the internet and the facilitated communication and the relationships.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are seeing that. It goes part and parcel, I think, to what we're talking about cheating. I think that a lot of people are getting into emotional relationships with people on the internet, so they might not actually be cheating in a physical way, but they might actually be cheating in an emotional way. Because the fact of the matter is when you're in a relationship with someone, that's the person that you're supposed to go to for everything. So you go to them for sex, you go to them for problems, you go to them to talk through things, for emotional support, for everything. And if all of a sudden you're getting emotional support or verbal support from somebody other than the person that you're in a relationship with, then you're actually cheating. And a lot of times when people are having issues in real relationships, they look to these anonymous friends that they're making on the internet as someone to talk things through with, because they don't want to talk them through with the real person they're in a relationship with. I don't know if you ever hear the story about how people wind up telling their deepest and their darkest secrets to a random stranger who they meet in the airport as they're waiting for their connecting flight,